Don Peoples, Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. And yeah, man, it's time that we talk about it. Now, obviously, I don't know who all might have seen it, who all didn't, but I know by now y'all done heard about the Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul bank heist of a boxing match that we witnessed. Um, when are we going to understand that Floyd Mayweather has been robbing the boxing world for the last decade? You know, when you see his fights, it's a lot of hype built up to it. And, I think the hype comes from everybody wanting to see him lose. And it doesn't matter who he's supposed to be fighting. He went from being in the ring fighting, the Canelo Alvarez's, the Ricky Haddons, the Shane Mosleys, to now, he's fighting the Paul brothers. And he's starting off with Logan Paul. Now, I seen this coming a mile away, people. I seen the finesse and what this man was ready to do, as far as to set everything up. Now, we got to give props to, Logan Paul and Jake Paul for even getting the hype up to even get to the point to where they can fight a Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? I think that in itself was a miracle. But, as you seen the build up, it seemed like Logan couldn't really hold in the laughter because, knowing that, this shit is just rigged. It's just set up, It's all for show and tell. It definitely wasn't a boxing type of match. And, I think he knew that. Now does size matter all the time when it comes to a person beating another person? No. But I think in boxing, even against Floyd Mayweather, who, is pound for pound probably one of the best boxers ever. But when you're going up against a person that's 6'6", 6'7", 230 pounds, 220 pounds, and you are just 150 at 5'5", 5'6", and y'all just have a little ring to move around, he should be able to at least, bust your nose, split your lip, put a couple of knots on your head. It seemed like to me that Floyd was the aggressor. Floyd was the one that took it to him. And, he landed some quality punches. But my whole thing about it is that watching Floyd and watching Logan Paul, you can smell what The Rock was cooking. This was a situation to where it felt like it was just a setup. And like with boxing, it's in a sad place, man. I understand it ain't what it used to be. We don't have the glory fights like the Tommy Hearns and Marvin Haglers or the Sugar Ray Leonards or the Roberto Durans, heavyweights like, George Foreman and Riddick Bowe and obviously Evander Holyfield and, just gladiators. Obviously, you had Mike Tyson, who even to me fought people such as Lennox Lewis and a second Holyfield situation to where, you just knew that he couldn't win, but it's the point he still fought them. I think Floyd was in a situation to where, I would have loved to see him, I would have loved to see, him and the Manny Pacquiao too. Or him and Canelo Alvarez again. I think there was a couple of other fights that he could have took, real legitimate fights that could have been more of a, worthy opponent, obviously, and brought in double the money. These type of fights to me, even though they're expedition fights and They don't count against your record. They make you look like a clown. You're fighting a YouTuber, and I understand that you're 44 years old and you're retired from boxing, but you're fighting a YouTuber. You can fight somebody that is worthy of your type of competition. Retired fighters. It doesn't even have to be a current fighter. It could be somebody your age. People would pay to see that. But to see you out there fighting Logan Paul, and the whole time, he just had this smirk on his face like, man, we just robbed the world. And Floyd just looking at him like, man, just play your role. I've been doing this for a minute. And then when you look at the press conference afterwards, Floyd tells you like, hey, you don't have to watch me. You don't have to support me, and he tells you it's a heist. So for everybody out there that paid $50, including myself, because I fell for the debate, you feel what I'm saying? I honestly, in my heart, thought Logan Paul could probably beat Floyd Mayweather because I thought it was just time for Floyd to lose, and what better way to lose than against a YouTuber. But now that Logan Paul has been defeated, I can see Floyd Mayweather just going on down the Paul brother line and taking on Jake Paul, which I felt would have been the better fight at the beginning anyway. Jake Paul seems to be a little bit more credible. I'm anxious to see him and Tyrone Woodley go at it. I think that's going to be a good fight. Even though Woodley has lost like 6 bouts in a row in the MMA, I still think it will be entertaining. But obviously boxing is, they need this. As much as it's a disgrace to boxing still needs Floyd Mayweather. There's nobody who can make a draw like Floyd. The more that we continue to hate Floyd and the more that we continue to call him out for these type of shenanigans, we still continue to buy into the pay-per-view and support what he has going on, and in return that makes him a lot of money, and he's able to continue doing the things that he does. So I think he'll fight Jake Paul, especially if Jake Paul beats Tyrone Woodley. He's going to then be fighting Floyd Mayweather. You could see that fight happening like in November. And then obviously at that point, that's going to be a mega draw. Even though Logan lost, I think Jake is the one that everybody is kind of behind as far as being a real boxer or being a real opponent. But neither one of them, to me, have the pedigree or the resume to stand up to a Floyd Mayweather. So Floyd, I really would suggest, because you really made boxing look bad. It's good money wise as far as all eyes being on the boxing ring, but it made boxing look bad because you got so many other fights. Like, I'm looking forward to this Manny Pacquiao Earl Spence fight. See, that's gonna be a fight. And shout out to Manny Pacquiao for being a 40-plus-year-old man, still out here fighting these young boys and still doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Still making a statement. I mean, when you look at it, who had the better career? Even though Manny lost a few fights, it's still one of those things to where he's fought way more quality opponents and he's shown that gladiator spirit. Him, Bernard Hopkins, them two, man, is just like, I'm going to fight whoever, whenever, and I respect them dudes for that. Floyd, to me, has always been ducking. He fights the fight when it's convenient for him to fight it. It's not never, okay, this is what the people want, let me give it to them. So, I mean, like, I don't respect what he just did as far as, putting on a show with this boxing Paul Brothers thing. I feel like you're just, degrading the brand, which makes it worse for you at the end of the day because you are in the boxing promotion business. So it's your job to obviously, put eyes on boxing, but also keep the integrity of it and make the matches that the people want to see. People didn't want to see your old ass out there fighting a YouTuber, man, but we as people are such suckers for a Floyd Mayweather fight that we're going to tune in. But I think this has proved once and for all what Floyd Mayweather's been doing for over the past decade. Fleecing us as boxing fans. I want y'all to get into the comment box, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think Floyd Mayweather really just robbed all of us, the boxing world, for $100+ million. Will y'all ever buy a Floyd Mayweather fight again? Will y'all ever, for the ones that went, I heard Blueface get on there and said he spent $12,000 plus. A lot of entertainers were cracking jokes about the fight. Would you ever support Floyd Mayweather again when it comes to something like this? I want y'all to get in the comment box, man. Let me know what y'all think. Is y'all disgusted like me about this whole Floyd Mayweather, Paul Brothers situation? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, Deadbolt ATL, man. We growing this thing. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Don Peoples. Deadbolt. Gone.